Welcome back to Stace on Wheels. This one is about how to install the OEM Ducati heated grips on a SuperSport 939 and a 3-year review of using them in a place where we can ride all year round but still in freezing temperatures in winter. Hey Rusty. Now just a heads up on using these, you can install them yourself like I did, but you have to get your dealer to activate them on the bike. Once they're activated, you're good to go and you won't ever have to get them activated again. No need to remove the fairings the side fairings to get access in here, but it is useful, I think, to remove these inner fairings, these black things, just with a 4mm hex key. And that's just 2 bolts at the back of this, and then once they're out, this just releases with a little bit of a pull backwards because it's got these little tabs that slide into the fairing at the front there. Next step is to remove your existing grips. These are Sato Racing bar ends. They're stainless steel, so they're nice and heavy, and they also have an inner weight inside that goes probably most of the way in, which I've got because it does wonders in taking vibrations out of the handlebars. These are just little O-rings because there's a bit of a space that kind of presents itself between the end of this grip and where these bar ends meet up, and it just looks daggy, so a couple of O-rings is kind of what I'm putting in there to black it out a bit. I generally use a bit of compressed air to get these off, but I'm just going to wrestle with it right now. Someone wants a drink. Not too hard. Now the whole throttle assembly has to come off with that right hand grip. Now this isn't going to fully come off yet because the ride-by wire I've got to disconnect from inside there, but I'll get you in and show you. So while we're in here, these 2 little wires are tucked up in behind the steering tube, and this is what the heated grips plug into. So every one of these bikes should have these, and then it's just a question of pulling these little blanks or pigtails out and connecting in the heated grips, but we'll come to that. The trickiest part of this whole operation, apart from taking it to the dealer to get it activated, is that that grey, it probably looks white to you, plug that you can see in there, which is kind of pressed up onto a little tab. There's the tab there and the white plug. That's the ride-by wire. So that's got to come off that tab. That's the easy part. And then we can install the heated grips and get all the wiring connected. But getting that back on, that is the pain in the butt. But I have a method that has worked for me pretty well, so we'll come to that. So right now I'm going to pull that off and get the right hand grip and throttle assembly off, and then we'll start installing the heated grips. Right, so the bars are turned so you can see it, but not so I can get easy access to it, so I might adjust that just a little. Well, I'm going to release that plug from the clip. Easy, pops off straight away. Don't know if you can see that. Can you see? It's moving around freely in there. Now I have to pull it through this side to be able to disconnect the ride-by wire. So here's the plug just pulled through. Okay. And now, once I get all of these cable ties off, I'll be able to get the old, well not the old, but the non-heated grip and throttle assembly out. I also wanted to show you this. Can you see that bit of pink? That's shrink wrap, and it's around the little lugs that the actual throttle grip fits into. They are on there to take the slop out of the throttle. I haven't done that to the heated grip, so I'm not sure yet if I can, but I like that feeling of very direct throttle, and these bits of shrink wrap just kind of take up a bit of the slop that's just there naturally. Some people like it, I just don't, so I'm going to have to get used to it again when I put the heated grips on. So there's one there, and I think somewhere around the other side, I can't quite show you, but there's two of these lugs, and the other lug's got shrink wrap on it as well. I've got like half a dozen of these to pull off. I do love them though, they're so easy to use and they just stay put and they're nice and stretchy, so they're easy to get on. So now this grip can come off. So now the heated grip goes on. Actually, there's a little lug there which locks itself or locates itself in that hole that's in the bar, like so. You see that slop I'm talking about? But what I do is actually swap these in and out at the start and end of winter, because the plastic is so hard and the vibrations just get a bit much in the summer with light, thin summer gloves. So I might be able to just put up with that throttle swap. I might be able to just put up with that throttle slop just for the winter. Righto. Now this time we're going to run 2 cables down along the rest of these, because one of them of course is to plug into the heated grip part of the loom. You always end up with one extra cable tie than I started with. So what I'm going to do is feed this right-hand heated grip cable through to the other side behind the steering tube and hook up the ride-by-wire plug. And we'll get the other grip on. I am not going to locate this onto that tab yet, or put the bar ends back in yet until I do a test of everything. So yeah, I'll just get this other grip on now. Now the left-hand side has 2 little locating screws that are going to screw into the bar itself. I think some people have found that they can work their way loose, so you may want to put a bit of light Loctite on them. I haven't had that problem, so I'm just going to put them in. But they're kind of awkward to get to. You've got to peel back that edge of the rubber or the plastic. You've got to hold them in your mouth until you're ready to use them. I recommend doing the bottom one first because it is so much more fiddly to get to. Make sure you drop it in the grass, just to make it a little bit harder. So yeah, even though I don't put any kind of Loctite on these, I do give them a little check after the first ride or two and make sure they're not vibrating out. So far I haven't had that problem. And I probably wouldn't lean on them too much. Maybe in your part of the world And if you're okay with, you don't find that them very vibratey, you'd probably just put these on and leave them on. Likewise with the other side, I'll kind of get this wire, heated grip wire, nicely looped into the set of cables that it's going to follow down. Now that's all tucked in and ready to connect to those two little pigtails that come out of the loom. Is there a left and a right? I don't know. I don't think I've ever bothered to check. I think they both heat. You want them both heated, so it doesn't matter which one you connect to which. So I'll remove these little blanks off the ends and store them somewhere safe. One connected and two connected. So now everything is connected. What's left to do is to tuck all of this back in and get that ride-by-wire plug clipped back up onto that tab. But before I go down that path, I just want to make sure everything's working. Does the throttle work? Yep, that's all good. So we're accessing what I call the right-hand menu, which is using the down arrow. At the moment I've got it on temperature, but I'll just keep flipping through until I get to heated grips, which is H.grips. At the moment it says it's off. Now, if I hold the selector switch down for a few seconds, it flashes. I release that button and now I can turn the grips on to whatever setting I want. High, medium, or low. Let's put it on medium. I just hold the indicator button down to confirm that. And now a little grip with wavy lines comes up onto the dash, which means they're on. And because the bike's running, they should start heating up. And they are. So I know all of my wiring is working and now I'm ready to tidy it all up. Lovely. This is going to be both hard for you to see and hard for me to show you in full, but I'll try and explain it the best I can. So this is the ride-by-wire plug, and this end of it has a little, I guess a little hole or a gap, which is going to clip up onto that tab I showed you before, just on the inside of the steering head. Now, to get that up there by hand, for me, is impossible, and I'm pretty sure it's impossible for a lot of other people too, because they complain about it. So my solution is to use a length of wire, get it roughly in position underneath that tab, and then run some wire underneath and through to both sides, and then hoik it up gently but firmly till it locates itself on that tab. So let's see how that goes anyway. So both hands, both sides, just trying to position the plug very close to that tab. So it's just about ready to go up onto it. Almost there. You humans with larger hands, I think, will struggle more than I am. This is the wire I'm using. It's pretty thin, it's pretty soft, but long enough to get through and then hook around the bottom of the plug. I did say this was the trickiest part, didn't I? And you know it's on when the little tab that's on the plug locates itself in the little hole that's on the that metal tab. Now that that's located, it's just a question of tucking these things in. There's plenty of wires tucked in that little gap there, so we're not doing anything special or weird. Now, once over of the screws that are holding the grips onto the bar here and the throttle assembly there, and once I'm happy that they're tight enough, the bar ends go in and we are pretty much done.
It's currently 8 degrees, and by my accent that means that's Celsius. It's not super cold, not freezing, but it is still pretty fresh and my hands are cold. Now I already have the heated grips on, and I've got them set to medium, but if I wanted to change that on the fly, what I have to do is just bring them up on the dash. Now, at the moment, I'm not sure if you can see, but I've got it just on the ambient temperature, which is, like I said, 8 degrees. Just use the selector switch, which is above the indicator switch, and just flick that until I get to where the heated grip setting is, and there it is. You can probably see the medium, the MED for medium. If I want to change that, I grab that selector switch and pull it down and hold it for a few seconds until the medium starts flashing. And from there I can use the selector switch to go up or down to change the temperature to high, medium or low. I'm happy with medium at this temperature, so I'm going to confirm that selection by pushing in my indicator button for a few seconds until that flashing goes away. And that's it, it's done. Pretty easy. And that's actually one of the things I love about these grips, is that it's all integrated with the bike, and it's just so easy to use. I hardly have to think about it at all. They're pretty easy to install. I really don't think that any other heated grip would be much easier. The only thing I don't love about these grips is how hard the plastic is. I have a friend who's got some Oxford grips, I think they are, and the grip itself is actually a bit squishy and soft, which is nice. But the hard plastic doesn't help the vibration situation in these bars. But does that mean I regret my decision, or that I would change them to something else? Absolutely not. I'm really happy with them. The heat settings work perfectly for the temperatures I ride in, which can be just a few degrees below zero all the way up to, well, I probably don't use them much above 12 or 15 degrees, kind of depends on the wind chill. And I really only use them in winter, obviously, because that's the only time it gets any kind of cold here. Whether you're still trying to decide which heater grips to get for your bike, or if you've already decided on OEM Ducati grips, I hope this video has helped you, and maybe I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.